Welcome back, my dear coin lovers, to the channel, and thank you for joining me today for another deep dive into the fascinating world of rare and valuable US coins. Whether you're a dedicated coin collector, a treasure hunter at heart, or someone who simply enjoys discovering stories about how ordinary-looking coins can turn into multi-million-dollar treasures, you're in the right place. Today, we're going to explore an incredible and almost unbelievable story about the 2003 Liberty dime, a coin that, at first glance, seems like just another 10-cent piece in your pocket change, but under certain extraordinary circumstances, could be worth an astonishing $211 million. That's right, a dime worth hundreds of millions of dollars, all because of minting errors, mistakes, rare varieties, and the endless possibilities that make numismatics such an exciting and mysterious field. Now imagine for a moment that you're sorting through a pile of change, maybe from your car's cup holder or the back of a drawer, and you spot a 2003 Liberty dime. Most people wouldn't give it a second thought. It's small, silver-colored, and modern, nothing special, right? But here's where the magic begins. Some coins minted in the early 2000s, especially from the Denver Mint, have been found with highly unusual and incredibly valuable errors that make them worth far more than their face value. These aren't just small mistakes, they're minting anomalies that can completely change the story of a coin, and in the case of the 2003 dime, certain combinations of these errors could make one single example worth as much as $211 million in the eyes of serious collectors and investors. To understand how this is even possible, we have to go back to the basics of coin minting and the special place of the Roosevelt dime in American currency. The Roosevelt dime design, which features the profile of President Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse, was first introduced in 1946 to commemorate his legacy. Since then, billions of dimes have been produced by the U.S. Mint across several facilities including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The 2003 dime, struck at the Denver Mint, is part of that long tradition. While billions of these coins entered circulation, only a very small number are believed to have minting errors so rare that they push their value to astronomical levels. Let's explore what makes this specific coin, the 2003 Liberty dime, potentially worth hundreds of millions of dollars. First, we need to understand the different types of minting errors that could occur during production. Every coin is struck using two dies, one for the obverse front and one for the reverse back. Each die must be precisely aligned, properly engraved, and set at the correct pressure to produce a flawless coin. However, when something goes wrong during this process, such as die cracks, double strikes, off-center minting, planchet issues, or misaligned die impressions, the resulting coin can become a rare and unique variety. For example, some 2003 Liberty dimes have been rumored or reported to exhibit what collectors call a double die error, where the design appears doubled in certain areas, particularly in the inscriptions "Liberty" or "In God We Trust." This doubling happens when the die shifts slightly between strikes, creating a shadow-like effect that's visible under magnification. A true double die can dramatically increase a coin's value because it's not caused by post-mint damage, but by a mistake during the die creation itself. Now imagine if a double die error occurred on a coin already struck on a unique or wrong metal planchet. Suddenly, you have a once-in-a-lifetime coin that could command a massive fortune at auction. The 2003 dimes are supposed to be composed of a copper core clad with a nickel outer layer. But rare examples of dimes have been found struck on completely different planchets, such as those intended for foreign coins, older silver compositions, or even other denominations like quarters. If a 2003 dime were mistakenly struck on a 90% silver planchet, for instance, it would stand out immediately due to its different weight, sound, and color tone. Such an error would not only make it a historic anomaly but could also cause bidding wars among collectors eager to own something so uniquely produced. Combine that with a double die obverse and perhaps a misaligned or missing mint mark, and you begin to understand how the value could skyrocket into unimaginable figures. Now let's talk about mint marks. The D mint mark on the 2003 dime signifies that it was struck in Denver, Colorado. Mint marks are tiny, but they can play a huge role in a coin's rarity. Occasionally, mint marks are missing, misplaced, or even repunched, and these are among the most sought-after types of errors. A missing D mark, for instance, could make a 2003 dime appear as though it were minted in Philadelphia, which normally produces coins without a mint mark. If such an anomaly were verified, it would become a once-in-a-generation discovery. Another possible error is what's known as a filled mint mark, where excess metal or grease in the die partially obscures the D, giving it a blurred or faint appearance. To the trained eye, this is a sign of an authentic minting imperfection, which can elevate a coin's desirability dramatically. Collectors often look beyond surface beauty when evaluating such coins. They search for the story, the history, and the unintentional quirks that make one coin stand out among billions. The 2003 D dime's supposed astronomical value, reaching as high as $211 million in rare hypothetical cases, represents not just the metal it's made of, but the incredible uniqueness of its minting circumstances. Imagine if a coin was struck at the exact transition point when dies were being changed or when planchets from different batches got mixed together. That single moment of mechanical imperfection could create a specimen unlike any other, and when authenticated, its rarity could make it a centerpiece in the world's most prestigious collections. Let's take a deeper look into how such extreme valuations come about. In numismatics, rarity is not just about how old a coin is or how many were produced, but how few survive in perfect or extraordinary condition, and how unique their errors are. A 2003 D Liberty dime with an error that has never been seen before, such as being struck on an experimental metal, featuring a double denomination, or showing overlapping mint marks, would instantly capture global attention. The discovery of such a coin could lead to museum exhibitions, documentary features, and even private bidding wars among wealthy collectors or institutions. In such cases, the theoretical value could easily surpass hundreds of millions, as collectors assign enormous worth to absolute uniqueness. Another factor that influences this incredible value is the condition, or grade, of the coin. Coins are professionally graded by organizations like the Professional Coin Grading Service (PCGS) or the Numismatic Guarantee Company (NGC). Grades range from per P1 to mint state perfect MS70. A flawless 2003 D dime with one-of-a-kind minting errors, preserved in pristine condition since the moment it left the mint, could be valued exponentially higher than a worn or damaged example. In the world of collectibles, perfection magnifies worth, and when combined with extreme rarity, it can push a coin into financial territory that seems almost unbelievable. What makes the 2003 D Liberty dime story so captivating is that it combines mystery, craftsmanship, and the allure of hidden treasure. Many people underestimate modern coins, believing that only older coins, like those from the 1800s or early 1900s, can be worth huge sums. But as we've seen in recent years, even coins from the 2000s can achieve astronomical prices when they exhibit unique minting characteristics. Modern minting technology has improved significantly, but it's still not immune to occasional errors, and when those errors slip through quality control unnoticed, they become hidden gems waiting to be found. Another intriguing aspect to consider is the possibility of transitional errors when a coin is struck using leftover materials or dies from a previous minting year. If a 2003 D dime were mistakenly struck with a die intended for 2002 or 2004, it could create subtle yet valuable discrepancies in date spacing, font style, or mint mark positioning. Transitional errors are some of the rarest in coin history because they represent a very brief overlap in minting processes, sometimes lasting only a few minutes before correction. Coins like this can be priceless to numismatists, especially when authenticated by recognized grading authorities. Let's also think about the role of striking pressure and die deterioration. During high-speed production, the mint's machinery strikes thousands of coins per minute. Over time, the dies wear out, creating coins with faint, mushy, or distorted details. Occasionally, the striking pressure fluctuates, resulting in weak or uneven strikes. A 2003 D dime with partial design details, perhaps an incomplete portrait of Roosevelt or missing portions of lettering, could be an example of such an error. While common weak strikes don't usually add value, an unusual combination of die deterioration, misalignment, and metal flow could create a coin so distinctive that collectors would pay extreme premiums to own it. Then there's the matter of planchet preparation.